In this short video, we will look at decision tree model. We'll be using claims and weather data that tracks customer information, the vehicles that they drive, the coverage that they have, the type of accident, and we will use that information to predict the total claim amount. So at the end of the day, suppose that we have a brand new claim. We want to be able to use the decision tree model to estimate the total claim amount, right? So what is a decision tree model? Decision tree model is a hierarchy, right? It consists of nodes. We have a root node, we have internal node, and we have something called leaf node or terminal node. Each node represents statistically similar data. For example, over here, we have the node, the root node, that represents all data. And if I hover over my root node, I see that the average claim amount for all data is $433, right? And I see the standard deviation, and I see the total number of records, right? It's right here. It represents 100% of data here. Or in earlier video, we talked about the one-way drivers, right? And I mentioned that the one-way driver with the highest predictive strength will be used at the first column to split to the first splitting column in the decision tree, right? So what are we going to do next? Next is here, we're looking at the location code, right? So if the location code is rural, we'll take this part here, right? So if it's rural, see this, we go to this node, then I can click on my node, right? And I can see the average claim amount, right? I can click here and I can see that here location code is rural and the records that fall into that node, they have an average claim amount $109, right? And I see the standard deviation and I see that this applies to 19% of data. So for here, for the rural location, I reach the end. What's happening here is that the algorithm is using what's called information gain. The splitting of the node stops if there is no way to use another column as a predictor somehow, right, to gain more information to improve the prediction accuracy, right, if you will. So now let's take a look at here another value of location is urban, right? So if location is urban, we're going to take this path here. So here, the average total claim amount is $329. But can we do better than that? We don't stop here because there is another column in the data, which is vehicle class, right? That adds the information gain. So see here, vehicle class. If it's a two-door car, we take this path, and if it's a SUV, we take this path, right? And here you see the percentage of data to which this rule applies. And I need to mention that the color code of a node represents the relative total claim amount. The darker shade of the node, right, the higher is the total claim amount. So like, for example, here, right, and I take this branch, if location code is suburban, right, then take a look at this. Vehicle class is used as a next splitting criteria. And if my vehicle is a luxury car, take a look at the total claim amount. It's over $1,000, but I have only 3% of data to which this rule applies, right? And I keep going. Here, this is going to be the employment type. And if it's employed, I take this pass. If it's unemployed, I take this pass, right? However, most of my data is false here, right? See this? 44% of data here, right? 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 44% of d and that's SUV, right? Only 16%. But I probably want to look at rules that represent most of my data, don't I? So see here, that's suburban, right? Then I can look at the two-door cars. So I see that if it's a two-door car, the average total claim amount is around $486. And take a look, note, you can expand and collapse the branch of the decision tree. So now, see this, that's a coverage type. It's used as a next splitting column, right? So here, if the coverage is basic, I take this pass, right? And then I look at the marital status. See that? So basically, what you could also do is you can look at the terminal node, right? And you can click on it, and that will highlight the path to that node. So see this? I click here. So how do I use that to read the rule from the tree? I would need to traverse the tree from the root, right? Go into the leaf node. See, that's a path. So what do I know? Location is suburban. Vehicle class is a two-door car. Coverage type is basic, and marital status is married, right? Married or divorced. Then I expect the average claim amount is $367, right? One thing to note that in addition to information gain, another splitting criteria is another algorithm termination criteria is the number of rows, number of observations that fall into the terminal node. There should be not less than 25. So if you have under 25 observations that fall into the node, then the split cannot happen, right? You cannot be splitting further. So the terminal node should be based on at least 25 records. All right, I hope it makes sense. And also, you cannot have more than 36 nodes in the tree. All right. But keep in mind, please, if the rule is less frequent, it does not mean that it's not important. Sometimes you want to look at the luxury cars also, right? You cannot just ignore that piece, that branch of the tree, right? Remember that the branches of the tree can be expanded and collapsed. So if I have a brand new claim, right? What do I need to do to estimate the total claim amount? I'm gonna traverse my tree from root to the terminal node, right? And I'm going to look at locations, and if it's urban, I take this path, right? If it's rural, I take that path at the top. And if it's suburban, I take this path. Then I'm gonna look at the next splitting column, and etc., right? So this is a visual representation. What you also have is that you have rules written in English language, so to speak, right? So here you can sort the rules by predicted value, and this is a predicted value. And here you see the rule. For example, here location code is suburban, that's a vehicle class. Employment status is unemployed. And here are the coverage effective to date. And this rule applies to 36 records, right? Under 1% of data. So of course, probably this node, right? If you look at it in terms of node on a tree, it cannot be split further because you cannot have less than 25 records, right? So that's how it is. But let me see this. I can sort this, but see here, if location is rural, that's a number of records and also percentage of data to which the rule applies, right? And that's the rule. All right, so basically, you can see that you can see that, as you may remember, we looked at the most dominant rule. Unfortunately, I cannot sort this by percentages. It would have been nice if I could, right? But this is how the rules are written in English language, right? So, like, for example, see this here, location code is suburban, vehicle class, coverage basic, marital status single. So my estimated total claim amount is $450. That's how you read those rules. All right. We will look at the sunburst visualization in another video. That was a short video on decision trees for numeric target column. All right, remember here the total claim and weather in claim and weather data, total claim amount column is a continuous number, right? So we're looking at the averages. All right, thank you for watching this video. See you later.